Hello, good afternoon. We're at it again. A minister was to play golf with a church member when it started to rain before the game. The parishioner said to his pastor, "See if you can pull some strings upstairs. You have some connections, don't you?" "Friend," said the pastor, "that's management, and I'm only sales." As Noah and his family were disembarking from the ark, they paused on a ridge to look back. "We should have done something, Noah," his wife said. "That old hulk of an ark will sit there and be an eyesore on the landscape for years to come." "Everything's taken care of," Noah assured her. "I left the two termites on board." A local newspaper had a very difficult time in reporting the death of one of the town members. The first report said, "Brother Smith has gone to rust." They tried to correct the misprint the next day, and it came out, "Brother Smith has gone to roost." Finally, they tried a third time, and the report stated, "Brother Smith has gone to roast." On the first night of his grandmother's visit, a small boy was saying his prayers. "Please, God," he shouted, "send me a bicycle, a tool chest, a—" "Why are you praying out so loudly?" his older brother interrupted. "God isn't deaf." "I know he isn't, but Grandma is." Moses trudges down from Mount Sinai, tablets in hand, and announces to the assembled multitudes, "I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is I got him down to 10. The bad news is adultery is still in." A parishioner had dozed off to sleep during the morning service. "Will all who want to go to heaven stand?" the preacher asked. All stood except the sleeping parishioner. "Well, will all who want to go to the other place stand?" asked the preacher. At that moment someone suddenly dropped a hymnal. Quickly the sleeping man jumped to his feet and stood sheepishly facing the preacher. He mumbled confusedly, "Well, preacher, I don't know what we're voting for, but it looks like you and I are the only ones for it." Small Boy's Prayer. Dear God, take care of Mommy and Daddy and Sister and Aunt Jenny and Uncle Jim and Grandma and Grandpa, and please, God, take care of yourself, or else we're all sunk. The Farmers Association and the Baptist preachers held their meeting in the same hotel in Chicago. The ministers were to be served apple pie and ice cream, and the farmers were to be served watermelon soaked in rum. However, the waiters got the menus mixed up and served the ministers the watermelon and rum. When the head waiter discovered the error, he called the waiters and excitedly asked them if they had served the ministers the watermelon and rum. Yes. Did they eat it? Yes. Well, what did they say? Oh, they didn't say anything, but they did put the seeds in their pockets. A minister's wife told her husband never to open a box she had in her closet, but he couldn't resist. So one day, after many years, he opened it while she was out shopping. He found 3 eggs and a big pile of money, at least $3,000. When the wife returned, he said, "I'm sorry, honey, But curiosity got the best of me, and I opened the box. "What about those 3 eggs in there?" She said, "Well, every time you preached a bad sermon, I put 1 egg in the box." "Well, that's not too bad. 3 bad sermons in 20 years? That's pretty good. And where did you get all the money?" "Every time I got a dozen eggs, I sold them." There was a rich oilman who was getting married and was nervous about it. He told the minister that the fee would be in proportion to the brevity of the service, and that if he used a long service, he wouldn't receive a cent. When the wedding day came, the couple stood before the minister in the bride's home. The minister said to the man, "Take her," and to the woman, "Take him," and then closed the ceremony by announcing, "Took." After their cars had collided, 2 women began arguing about who was at fault. One of them said, "My husband is a minister. What do you think he will say?" And the other woman responded, "Well, my husband isn't a minister. What do you think he will say?" Goodbye.